Everybody, welcome into the show tonight. I'm Brian Keating. He is Elgin Rucker. It is time for Crashing the Boards on a Big 12 championship week. Here we go.
You don't know how happy I am to be inside a studio right now. That was a fun game, but it was nasty. And I know you guys saw it on my post-game recaps.
Look,
wasn't having the greatest time, but it was a good game.
It was not a great day to at least be outside of Boone Pickens Stadium unless you're there. And Cowboys fans were excited, and they're on to the Big 12 championship game. Look, let's recap. And we got a big show tonight. We got some breaking news as well with Oklahoma football. We will start tonight, though, with the Oklahoma State University Cowboys, who were at home, and they were down a bunch to BYU. They were down 24-6 at halftime and then rallied. That was Ollie Gordon diving his way into the end zone. Oh, by the way, he had 5 touchdowns, and then the play of the night was the play that ended it. A heck of a play by Trey Rucker to make the tackle and then rip the ball away and make the fumble recovery. That's it. Pokes win. They're headed to Big D to play the Texas Longhorns.
Obviously, Texas is playing at a very high level right now. Texas has good players. Texas has great players. They've always had them. They play at a high level. They're not an easy team to play. But I like my team.
Yeah, obviously, I don't think a lot of people believe we were going to be in this position. So to be able to kind of understand where we are, be able to go in and get a chance to win the Big 12 championship is unbelievable. In the end of September, we're sitting there 2-2, 0-1 in the Big 12, and we had meetings after meetings said we can run the table. Who believes we can run the table? And everyone raised their hand and believed it. Now, obviously, we didn't run the table. We were pretty close, but to be able to play for the Big 12 back home in Dallas, where I'm from, is pretty special.
Alan Bowman right there, he referenced the Cowboys' start to the season, and we can all go back to that horrible Saturday night where it was 33-7 to South Alabama, and yet here they are on their way to Arlington and the Big 12 championship game against Texas. Pretty remarkable stuff.
It is, and I'll get this out the way now because plenty of people have asked me about Trey Rucker, you know, it's not similar, it's the exact same last name. I'm not sure if we're related, but from this point forward, I'll just claim him as my cousin.
I would,
because he's balling, and he balled out that game. But the other baller, Ghali Ali, and you know, depending on where you're from, you might spell Ghali differently, you know, but that's what I got. 34 carries, $160 on the ground, 5 touchdowns. Look, the whole team played better. The defensive adjustments in the second half was crucial and critical to them even being able to get back into that football game. So it's not just Ollie Gordon that you can sit here and say he's the reason why they won. He's a huge part of it, though. And I think the most important thing for me, and something that I've been critical about this team throughout the season, especially in their toughest stretches, when they get down, or there were times where they have gotten down in a game and they've gotten away from Ollie Gordon. And I like the fact that they did not do that to the tune of 34 carries. And he's the guy towards the end of the game where if you just need something solid, you need something that you can trust, he's the guy you can just hand the ball off to and watch him make plays and win the game for you. So Ollie Gordon continues to be that guy. He is him right now.
There's no question about it. He's the best running back in the country. He gets better and better as the game goes along. But I'll say this, and there's at times, you know, Mike Gundy for OSU fans, he can be frustrating, because he's very unique in the way that he does things. And there's at certain times where you go, Mike, what are you doing? And you can yell and scream at your TV, and OSU fans do. But I got to give it up to him, man. MG for COY, Mike Gundy for Coach of the Year. I think he is deserving to be the Big 12 Coach of the Year. I think it's between Mike and Steve Sarkisian, oh, by the way, who's the head coach of Texas. Texas is 11-1. The way that Mike lost in that way to UCF, he's probably not going to win it. But I think he's done the best job of any coach in the conference getting this team who, Elgin, I'm not even sure they're good. Like, are they good? Are they a good team? I don't know. They've won a bunch of games in a row.
At their best.
At their best, they're pretty good. But they're not, like, really good, and yet here they are with 9 wins and a trip to the Big 12 championship game. So I give Mike Gundy a ton of credit. And there's times where you think, Mike, just yell and scream and get after people. But I think his demeanor actually carried the day for the Cowboys, being reserved and confident. I think that was big for OSU. So Mike Gundy for Coach of the Year. In a improbable season, maybe the most improbable season for Oklahoma State ever, they get an opportunity to play Texas next Saturday at AT&T Stadium. So put it up. It's OSU and Texas, 11 o'clock at AT&T Stadium. right here on Channel 5. Of course, we'll have the pregame show from AT&T Stadium as well. And so, look, an opportunity. OSU is certainly not the favorite, but can't win the Big 12 championship without playing for the Big 12 championship, and they will do just that.
Yeah, they're not the favorites. They will be underdogs. They've been underdogs in some big games this year, and they found a way to win those. I just think they have to remember who they are. Remember that you're the team that no one believed in. Don't think of yourself now as the second best team in the conference and we can beat anybody. That may be true, and you may feel that way about yourself. But what gave you an edge throughout that stretch where you won 5 games in a row was people not believing that you could do it. And you knowing that. You woke up every morning, went to practice knowing that no one believed that you'd pull yourself out of this hole. And that mentality is what helps you having a competitive edge over everyone you played. As soon as I felt like they had a chance to lose that, which was winning Bedlam, I think they did.
They did, a little bit.
And then the very next game, they got reminded, you're at your best when you don't think you're that good. And I think that's what they have to do. And I think being underdogs going into this game will be a natural resetter for them to walk into that building feeling like they have nothing to lose, because they don't, but they have everything to gain.
No, they have nothing to lose, and everybody can say, well, they're playing for the Big 12 championship, they've got that to lose, and that's true. But no one thinks they're going to win. I don't think they're going to win. I can sit here tonight. We're going to do the pregame show, and I'm not picking them to win.
Getting it out the way early.
I'm not picking them to win. I am. But here's the thing. Mike Gundy's made a career of beating Texas. They are 9-4 against the Longhorns since 2010. That's not on accident. This is the best Texas team they will have played in a long, long time. You don't accidentally, oh, by the way, get to 11-1 either. But if they can make it uncomfortable, if they can stay in the game, they got a chance. And the last 4 Big 12 championship games have been decided by a touchdown or less. So if it's close, Cowboys have a chance because all of the pressure will be in Austin, Texas to try to get to the playoffs. What a year, what a wild season. And it's Oklahoma State going to play for a Big 12 championship on Saturday. Coming up next, stay with us, talking Sooners who put the beat down on TCU.